Hi everyone, it's Angel, your favorite Chindo, back again with me in this channel, and Moochie is here with us today. Say hello, Mooch Mooch. Hello. Alright, and I've got my matcha here with me. We're ready to be sipping matcha with Moochie and talking about if your boyfriend or soulmate has a girl best friend. So let's just uncover this topic and get straight into it. So, I had to put Moochie down because we're discussing a really serious topic that often I think is a topic that not a lot of people talk about, but I do really think it's very important to actually bring this topic up. So, let's just get started. And the topic today is if your boyfriend or girlfriend has a girl or a guy best friend, and is it okay? Can they really just be friends instead of crossing the boundaries and having romantic relationships or being intimate with each other? So this is always a question that I get asked a lot, and especially I also sometimes think like, can my boyfriend really just be friends with this girl or not? And I will be uncovering some personal experiences that I have had, and things are gonna get really I'm gonna be spilling some tea, and it's really gonna be intense, so stay tuned for my experiences as well. Alright, so the very first thing I want to talk about in this situation is if they make you feel protected or they make you feel secure. Now, I know security, sometimes it comes from yourself. So for example, if I have a boyfriend, it also has to come from me. Like if I'm too insecure that I'm like just talking to a girl like platonically makes me feel very insecure, then that's just my problem because I'm overly insecure. But this is not what I mean. I mean as in they make you feel protected, they give you reassurance. So for example, let's say that he's hanging out with this girl and he makes me feel protected because like he would tell me like, hey, I'm going out with let's say I'm going out with Karen, and she's basically just friends. I have no feelings whatsoever with her. I will let you know once I'm on the way back home, and you don't need to worry about her because I do not have feelings for her. I hope you have fun at home, and I will text you later. Like just making you feel reassured, like, oh, that there's nothing happening there. It makes you feel a sense of like assurance that I'm like, okay, he really has nothing to do with her and he's not hiding anything. If the moment he doesn't tell you things or he starts lying to you, then this is a really bad sign because you have to make sure that you tell your significant other and not, you have to just be truthful about it, right? So that's that. And so that leads me to the very first thing that you can do, an actionable step, which is just being transparent with your significant other. Alright, so the second actionable thing that you can actually do is involvement. So this is always the context between my boyfriend has a girl best friend. Let's switch it up if you're a guy and that your girlfriend has a boy best friend. So this could work both ways. Okay, so the involvement is kind of feeling like your boyfriend, my boyfriend, doesn't hide things from me and actually involves me whenever there's a conversation going with her, or maybe sometimes in a while we also hang out, the three of us together. This means that I could actually get to know this person. So I know what she's like and I know what her personality is, and that would make me feel so much more rest assured. So these are the two actionable steps that you can do to maintain this relationship when your significant other has the opposite sex of a best friend. The second thing I want to uncover today is you have to ask yourself, if you were in their shoes, would you feel comfortable? So let's take it for example. If me and my boyfriend reverse roles, and if I had a guy best friend and I was hanging out with him one-on-one and I did not, for example, let him know that I was hanging out with him, would I feel comfortable if he did the same thing to me? And that's just how you're supposed to think. And if the answer is yes, you would feel comfortable, then obviously there's also boundaries. So you need to talk about setting up boundaries with them, because what you might feel, maybe you won't care, maybe that your significant other would care. So this has something to do with setting up boundaries as well. But for me, if my boyfriend didn't tell me that he was meeting his girl best friend one-on-one, I wouldn't feel good about it. So I would eventually, of course, if I'm going out with the opposite sex alone, I would let him know. So it's vice versa. You just basically think that if you were them, if they did that to you, is it okay? The third thing that I always keep in mind is that I do not want to judge someone until I've met that person, okay? Because just by hearing the things, the chats or the things that my boyfriend says about his girl best friend doesn't mean that she's necessarily like that, especially in chats like text. You could interpret everything the wrong way and you kind of can feel sus about it, or maybe your boyfriend is telling you the story on like a very different vibration on how it actually is. So what I would do is I would actually have an effort to actually meet that girl best friend face to face and actually also try to get to know each other as well. And I know this sounds like a relationship with the girl best friend. You can, if you're friends with her, that'll be so much easier. But at the same time, I think I wouldn't judge someone just by hearing stuff about them, because I haven't met her. I don't have like any girl instincts that I could actually have when I haven't actually met the person. So that, or like if I hear stuff from other people with my best friend, it might not be in that kind of like positive or negative way. So it's very nice when you can actually get along and try to meet that person in real life as well. The fourth thing is I always hold my boyfriend accountable instead of the other girl. And this is what you guys should do. So if you're the boyfriend, you should hold your girlfriend accountable and not her best friend as well, because you're the one who's in a relationship with your boyfriend, okay? You don't have a relationship, or maybe you do, okay? In this context, you don't. You're not the one who has that relationship with the other person, with the other friend. So you have to hold your boyfriend accountable because you guys are in a relationship, whereas that girl best friend is not in a romantic relationship with him. So it's his responsibility to make you feel assured, to make you feel secure and protected as your girlfriend, as a girlfriend, or him as a boyfriend to you. I mean, of course, I would hold the girl accountable as well if like maybe like 5% of it, because she might also be the one like who's flirting first or something like that. But 95% I would probably blame it on my boyfriend, just because we're the ones in a relationship and you're the one who said yes. You're the one who constantly like let her on instead of stopping it and making me feel assured and comfortable. So I would definitely kind of make them responsible and not the girl. But obviously if the girl's also like flirting and everything, like 5%, I would also be like, what the heck, girl, like what? But yeah, I think who's supposed to be responsible is your own SO, obviously. All right, so let's talk about the situation about priorities. Okay, so obviously if you have a significant other, the priority of it is supposed to be your girlfriend and then your girl best friend. It shouldn't be the other way around. For example, right, let's say your boyfriend has a really bad day or something really bad happened at work. He is not supposed to talk to the girl best friend instead of you. Because if he has those like intimate conversations with her, when you're supposed to be the person that he looks up to, I mean like he interacts with or have these type of conversation, like the deep, meaningful conversations, you're supposed to have it. The wife, the girlfriend's supposed to have it, and not the girl best friend, obviously. Because if you're having intimate like conversations, not with your girlfriend, instead with your girl best friend, then what the heck, dude? Like, why don't you just date your girl best friend instead, right? Because the girlfriend and wife is supposed to do that and have emotional support for you instead of your girl best friend. So that's that. As well as in priority, let's say your girlfriend asks you to hang out, but your girl best friend also asks you to hang out on the same day. You have to prioritize your girlfriend, because at the end, your girlfriend is gonna turn into a wife, and your wife has to be the priority instead of your friends, because this is the ladder here, okay? This is the wife and this is the friend, okay? she's going to be there when you take life decisions, and ultimately the girl best friend doesn't, okay? Because she's not supposed to be like your whole life, or like basically decide on important decisions together, you know, like houses, or like when you quit your job, or like financially, or your dreams, your career, things like that. Number 6 is related to the very first thing that I had said about feeling protected as well, but this is to set boundaries, because everybody's standards, everybody's boundaries are different. So maybe my boundary, for example, as a girl, I would prefer it if my boyfriend doesn't have a girl best friend, honestly, just because I feel more assured and more secure knowing that I'm his best friend, you know? But there are also other people who have different boundaries, who kind of feel like, oh, like it's okay to hang out one-on-one with a girl. While me, I would prefer it if my future husband or boyfriend don't have like a one-on-one date with a girl, just because that's my standard, that's my moral, that's my boundary. But at the same time, I'm also not the type of person who's gonna like, no, you can't do that, you can't hang out one-on-one with the girl. So for me, what's very important is the very first thing, which is literally to feel protected and feel assured. And then I'm not gonna allow, like, I'm gonna allow him to do whatever he wants as long as I feel safe. So I'm not gonna limit him to do anything. I prefer if they don't spend one-on-one, but at the same time, especially if they have like already a friendship even before my boyfriend met me, that's very important to have. Like, I'm not gonna ask him to like stop hanging out with her just because now I'm in his life or something like that. And that's how I kind of like had compromise in that type of relationship. But definitely, maybe my boyfriend's case, like, oh, it doesn't matter if I hang out one-on-one with a guy, like he wouldn't really, you know, like be bothered by it. So you need to set boundaries for your relationship as well, because everyone's different, okay? Everybody has different standards. So this is very important to communicate. Also for me, like one-on-one dates just make me feel like one-on-one, like, I mean, not dates. So basically one-on-one meetups with a girl best friend or a guy best friend with the opposite sex, for me, just feels very uncomfortable, especially when you're doing it way too much. Like if my boyfriend were to be seeing a girl best friend like once a week, I feel like it would make me feel so uncomfortable because of the frequency. Because maybe I'm not saying that, oh, like I hear my friends judging my boyfriend, so I feel that way too. It's not because of that. It just embarrasses me because if I always get like, not reports, like if my friends are always their family like texting me saying like, oh, I saw your boyfriend with this girl one-on-one together, it just embarrasses me, especially when it happens too often. Because like, why do you have to hang out? Oh my god, that's Muchi. Okay, she's just showing her ass. Anyways, yeah, like why do you have to hang out with her every single week one-on-one? Like for me, it's just weird, okay? If you're hanging out with them like as a group thing, that's fine, but one-on-one and the frequency is too much, it embarrasses me just because I know people are gonna be talking about it and it doesn't make me feel comfortable. So that's all the things I have to talk about right now. And actually, so let me share you my personal experience. And I know this is gonna be a little bit juicy. I'm not trying to offend anyone here. I'm just like trying to share my experiences or what I would do when I was in that situation. So I had a boyfriend at that time, and he had, okay, so she wasn't really his girl best friend, but there is a girl, she's a friend, and they've been hanging out a lot, like maybe once every 2 weeks. And for me, that was fine as long as he had communicated with me that he's going out with her or not meeting her as frequently and making me feel assured. That's the first thing. But in this situation, he didn't make me feel assured. He didn't give me that reassurance that they were just friends. And previously, there was also a rumor about them, like people shipping them together. So obviously, it made me feel so uncomfortable. And let me just tell you one thing, girl, okay? One thing, a female instinct is the most powerful thing in the world, okay? And at that time, I literally had this girl instinct that I had inside of mine that says, that just screams like, this girl is trouble. This girl is just nuh-uh, okay? But because I wanted my relationship to work, what I did is I actually tried to be friends with the girl. Even though like they were always constantly hanging out and I kind of like was annoyed by it because I don't feel secure and protected just because like they've been meeting up often. And the girl is like a little bit sus, I would say, like when I'm hearing from his stories. And also he would come home really late, like at night, like maybe like at 11 or 12 at a weekday. So I was like, why? Like, especially like he goes to that person's house as well. So that, especially when you meet, like, why do you have to go to their house? Like, why can't you just eat somewhere, like at a restaurant, right? So place matters as well. But basically, I was trying my best to be friends with this girl, and I actually tried to initiate like for us to meet, the three of us, so I could know what she's actually like in real life. So that's what we did. And I tried to give her a chance, like not give her a chance, but I tried to be friends with her. I try to ask her like, oh, like how is this going, da 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 da. And it's weird because like I think she's just that shy type and not really the like, friendly, like very energetic type, and that's fine, but like something about her was just sus. All right, like my girl instincts are screaming, but I wanted to make my relationship work, so I really try to be her, not her really good friend, but I just try to be her friend, okay? Try to get to know her. But at this case, I just felt like weird, like this girl is not giving me the vibes, and I just feel like something is off, okay? And I would think that I was delusional because my boyfriend at that time was like, no, nothing's happening and all that. And basically a year later, I kind of found out that he did go to that girl's house at the middle of the night when I was out of town. And the girl did try to do something sus, okay? She tried to make him like stay at her place. But my boyfriend at that time, he was basically kind of saying no to it, but they hung out at her house as well. And so my instincts this whole time was right, okay? The girl instincts I had was right about this girl. She is sus, okay? So this is just my personal experience, and basically these are the things or the chapters about what you can do about it and how you can face having your boyfriend or girlfriend has the opposite sex of a best friend. And I hope this video is really helpful, and let me know what other things you guys want to talk about, or if you want to turn this like more into like a relationship podcast episodes and I can dive deeper into experiences, or I could even bring a guest on. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!